Listen, if you watch the film straight through, the return of Voldemort looks like this massive, sudden earthquake. One day things are normal, the next there's terror and upheaval. But here's the thing, the cracks were already running under the surface for decades. Not an overnight takeover. Not a terrifying lightning bolt out of nowhere. It was institutional rot, slow and quiet and rancid, and all of those films from Philosopher's Stone to Order of the Phoenix are walking us through it if we pay attention. Think about it. Let's go through the ministry. Hogwarts, Azkaban, the Daily Prophet and Gringotts. Every one of them fails long before you-know-who shows up properly. That's not an accident. It's the point. Start with the Ministry of Magic. In Philosopher's Stone, Arthur Weasley is a curiosity, certainly lovable, but there's a line that stings when you hear it in context. Dumbledore says, "People will insist on seeing Hogwarts as a teacher and a protector, but the ministry spends most of its energy protecting its own image, not the public." We get bureaucrats who delight in paperwork and secrecy. In Chamber of Secrets, Cornelius Fudge is visibly more concerned about the ministry's reputation than about students being attacked. And in Goblet of Fire, he famously says, "We need a leader who represents calm and unity." Calm and unity, in his mind, means denying messy realities until they blow up. That denial is a governance style. In Order of the Phoenix, when Dumbledore tells Fudge, "You cannot deny the return of Voldemort," the minister responds like a man clinging to prayer. People will panic. So he chooses spin over truth. What does that tell us? Institutions that value image over safety will fail when faced with real danger. Which is exactly why the ministry's inaction and obsession with control sets the stage for later horrors, and the thinking is maddeningly consistent. In Goblet of Fire, when Fudge sees Voldemort back, he goes into panic. Fear of losing power and refuses admitting the obvious. "This is the longest night of my life." Instead of confessing error, the ministry tries to erase it. That defensive reflex, to scapegoat and to silence, is the same reflex that keeps atrocities unaddressed until they explode. You want to know why a post-truth culture can breed evil? Because it teaches institutions to put spin above facts. Now Hogwarts. Everyone romanticizes the castle, but pay attention to how the school fails students in person after person. In Philosopher's Stone, Dumbledore is the kind, eccentric headmaster who saves the day, and the school functions because of him. But look at Chamber of Secrets. When children are petrified, Lockhart contributes nothing of value. The staff is left scrambling, and even the new caretaker's daughter shows that systemic neglect has seeped into everyday life. When Dumbledore is dismissed in Order of the Phoenix, the school becomes a place of terror under Umbridge. She arrives with legal authority and immediately weaponizes it. "I am to receive all reports of misconduct," she says, and that sounds procedural, until she uses the rulebook to silence and terrify. Which is the point? A rigid bureaucracy bundled with cruelty will suffocate dissent. Think about that moment when Harry hears Umbridge's words, "I will not tell lies." It's a guttural, performative purity that covers profound cruelty. And there's hypocrisy everywhere. Professors who care more about their legacies than their moral duty. A board that bureaucratically protects secrets while allowing danger to grow. Remus Lupin's quiet competence in Prisoner of Azkaban highlights how much the school depends on good people rather than good systems. When good people leave, the protective scaffolding collapses. That fragility is institutional, not accidental. Azkaban now hears a barnacle on the hull. In Prisoner of Azkaban, get this line: "The Dementors are amongst us, yet not a single person successfully questions their morality or the prison system that unleashes them as guards." Instead of reform, Azkaban is a punitive, emotion-devouring machine. Sirius Black becomes the face of how the system punishes and forgets. The prison is less about justice and more about permanent exile and cruelty. When the films show prisoners staring like empty shells, it's not just atmosphere, it's a moral warning. Who authorized such inhumanity? The same ministry that outsourced punishment to monsters. The Daily Prophet barely blinks. Which brings us to the Daily Prophet. Read the movie dialogue in Chamber of Secrets, where fear and rumor spread. The paper prints any scandal that sells. In Order of the Phoenix, Rita Skeeter's reporting is a cancer. That line, I can't be expected to worry about consequences, sums it up. The prophet doesn't investigate, it sensationalizes, it protects its sources of power, and it vilifies truth-tellers. Remember the smear campaign against Harry. They're not trying to inform the public, they're laundering narratives. The paper's coverage becomes the ministry's mouthpiece. When trustworthy reporting vanishes, public opinion is a plaything. Propaganda fills the space where facts should be. Ask yourself, who profits from a misinformed populace? Everyone with something to hide. And Gringotts? The bank is supposed to be impregnable. Bellatrix Lestrange's vault breaking in. Well, alluded later in the series but seeded by the sense that wealth and secrecy protect the elite. In Philosopher's Stone, the bank vaults and goblins speak in guarded terms about ownership and rules. We are not our customers' keepers, a goblin could almost say. Gringotts is a system that prizes rules and profit, and it rests on the conceit that rules will be fair. But what if those rules are biased? What if the gatekeepers are complacent or corrupt? The films continually show class lines, and the magical bank that won't challenge the wealthy is the perfect place to hide ill-gotten gains. Wealth creates insulation, and institutions built to preserve wealth resist reform, which is why corruption blooms quietly. This pattern repeats: image over truth at the ministry, bureaucracy weaponized at Hogwarts, punitive cruelty at Azkaban, sensationalism at the prophet, and protective wealth at Gringotts. Each institution is a chess piece that has already learned how to survive politics instead of serving people, and the characters tell us that in their lines. When Dumbledore tells Harry in Philosopher's Stone, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live, he's not only giving comfort, he's hinting at leadership that chooses life and moral choices over ideology. Contrast that to Fudge's common unity Umbridge's.